What's going on? It's the RapNerd here to review The Quiet Place. Now, let me start by saying this. I did like the movie, but my theatrical experience was terrible. Oh my God, and it took the level down quite a bit as far as enjoyment. I did enjoy it and I liked it, but I'm gonna rant about that after this, after the review, so stick around and get the full story. I'm gonna give you beat by beat. But anyway, Quiet Place 2. Like I said, I like it a lot. Especially after thinking about it more, after my theatrical experience was so terrible, I had to spend the rest of the day yesterday just kind of processing the movie and think about what was thrown on the screen, and I really liked it a lot. It went completely different than what I thought it was, so that right there was one of the things that I was like, whoa. But it wasn't bad though. It wasn't in a bad way. It surprised me in a good way, because the trailer had me thinking it was going to be one way, and went in there and I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. So that's the first thing about it. This movie to me is more of a journey, and I'm a real huge fan of taking characters on a journey from start to finish. It's a big journey from the beginning, because you know it pretty much starts right where the last one ended. Of course, it has like a little flashback as you see in the trailer, which is super intense. Like, that thing carries on for so long, way longer than you think it does. Like, I think the whole flashback is about 15 minutes of the movie at the beginning, and the intensity in it, like, it's just terrifying, because we don't really, we do get movies like that, but I guess this version felt so grounded, and with the aliens, it felt scary. Like, if I had to compare, it almost gave me the same feeling as Cloverfield, except it wasn't, you know, handheld shots like how Cloverfield was. You see it from the start. It's just the town just enjoying their day, and then shit just hits the fan, and you follow everybody. And I love that the beginning kind of is foreshadowing of what's gonna happen later. I'm not gonna, you know, spoil that, but I do like that. And they really double down on using the deaf daughter's lack of hearing in spaces to make things crazy. Like, it'll be a bunch of sound and it just cut, and you realize that you're with her, and you get to hear from her world, and you're kind of like, damn, in a world like this where sound matters, she literally can't hear anything she's doing. Even like a little step, even a little movement, you know it makes sound, but you know she can't hear it, and it just makes it for, you know, terrifying, very, very terrifying moments in the movie. And again, like I said, it picks up after the flashback, the movie gets going, and it just takes you to a lot of places that I didn't really expect them to take it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's super duper tension. I mean, almost in every frame. Just the premise of, you know, what they did with the last one, of the need to be silent. They take that and just put it up a whole bunch more. Like, the smallest things back then that were dire, they make it even more dire here. I also love how they really double down on the idea of show, don't tell, because there are things that happen, and there are things that a certain character does that they just show you, and at first you'll be like, what's going on? And then they do something else to present what it is, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool. They don't do a whole bunch of exposition dialogue dump like, hey, what's that for? Oh, this is for blah 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 blah. You just kind of see it, and you just gotta roll with it and understand it. Because I love that, because again, it goes in to the need to be silent. I can't sit here and talk about a whole exposition and tell you what I'm doing. Just look at what I'm doing, follow my steps, and there you go. So I really love that aspect. And again, the journey, man. This movie takes you so many different places that mess with your heartstrings, and it does that more than the first one, because the first one was kind of like just showing the family survive and dealing with the baby, you know, being pregnant, and what that life just, you know, is for them living on this farm. This one is just survival mode, literally trying to find a way out, find a better life, because once they leave the house, they end up going somewhere else, and you already know that this place isn't a safe haven either, so they have to move to the next place, and then they actually find the next place, and then even that gets compromised, and then it's just more so just defeating these creatures, finding a way. And one spot particularly that they go to is so dope when they present the idea of why it is what it is. Like, when he says it, I'm like, oh, and it happens before it's said, so it's kind of like, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that. And it even you even start thinking about other reasons why monsters haven't gotten to this specific place, and it's just a dope door that opens and it makes you just think about everywhere else in the world. So I hope they do a number 3, because again, they set out to do what they wanted to do that first movie, and at the end of this movie, and it just was like a nice bow on top. I can honestly say, after thinking about it, I might like this one more than the first one, honestly, because again, I'm a fan of a journey and, you know, taking me on a ride, and this movie definitely did that. So it was good. Every character did a great job. I mean, heartstrings tugging from a parent standpoint, just from the idea of being a kid, the danger aspect, and then throwing a little baby into it just makes things even more elevated as far as tension. Like, it's a baby. They don't know nothing, and you got to deal with that and try and make sure the baby is okay, and they do certain things to even push the tension even more, and it's just the whole time it's just like so there's only one thing that I didn't like. There are a few things that I didn't really care for, but they don't mess the story up, because it's kind of like, I get what you were trying to do, but some characters just make some decisions that don't make any sense to me, as far as like they do things that end up causing bad things that happen. It's like a domino effect, and this wouldn't have happened had they not did that. And it specifically has to do with the son, that he does something that I'm like, why do that? Like, but at the same time, I'm like, you're a kid who is in this world, and you just want to, you know, be a kid, and sometimes I guess they forget that, and I can understand that. And another thing with the daughter and another character involved with the daughter, it's just kind of like, I think you could have done this in a different way than what you did. But again, I kind of can't knock it, because in the flashback, they kind of give a foreshadowing to these 2 moments that happen. And I don't want to spoil it. I just want you to see it and do that. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I want to watch it again next week sometime and go back to a theater that is more competent. So that's this. I thought the movie is worth the watch. Go to theaters to see it. It is a great film. Easily one of the best of the year. Great horror film. So, theater experience. The theater almost ruined the movie for me, dog. Like, the first 40 minutes, I was pissed. And then when I got over that, some more stuff happened, and I just was like, okay. So, first thing happens, right? I'm gonna give you a step-by-step plan, and I'm gonna keep it abbreviated as possible. So, buy my tickets online. Go get my tickets. You know what I mean? Go get my tickets. You walk in. And this is a dine-in theater, so they have, you know, usually they have food. We've been to this theater before. They serve food. So pay for our tickets at the concession stand, and the girl just tells us like, okay, the theater is this way. We walk in, no type of employees in sight. So we just walked to a movie. We're like, okay, cool. Sit down, and usually you can like grab a menu before walking into your theater, and like kind of where the concession stand is at. So, or somebody will come to you and give you a menu. So they didn't do that. So I'm like, okay, let me just go grab some menus. Walk up, and come to find out, you have to order the food online. And I was like, my wife called me like, you gotta order food online. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, we'll order it online, you know. And I look and I see, you know, I see one sign that says, now you can order online. Nothing saying that you have to. So I'm like, cool, all right, we'll order some food. So in the midst of that, I overhear somebody saying like, oh, you can only order drinks at the bar. You can't order online drinks. I'm like, all right, cool. So walk over to the bar. It's like a few people just sitting there, nobody behind the bar, and we're just kind of like, you know, where is everybody? Who's coming and whatever. So keep in mind, I'm sitting here thinking like, somebody's gonna come. One dude comes, he starts to take orders. And I'm just waiting like, all right, cool. So there's one dude, and he was a nervous wreck, so he was slowing the process down. Another guy comes up, starts to serve some people. Him also a nervous wreck. Serves one person, gets to me. I'm like, okay, give me a Guinness and a Bacardi and Coke, right? Cool. Makes a Bacardi and Coke. Spills it because he's so nervous, and I'm just like, okay. Makes it again, slides me the drink, and then says thank you and walks off. I ordered a Guinness too, and I'm just standing there like Like I told my man over here, the other guy, like, yo, he didn't give me my Guinness. And he's like, oh, okay. And he rushes back, gets my Guinness. I'm like, cool. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, it took longer than what I thought it wanted to be, but whatever, dope. You want to see the movie? Go into the theater. My wife has her order queued up, and I got to order my food. Grab the thing, trying to order my food. I press place order now, and it refreshes saying your time, you know, your order window has been gone. I'm like, all right, whatever, I get it. It took longer. Try to do it again. Get to the end, and gives me the same damn thing, right? And during this time, the movie just cuts on, so I'm trying to like, hurry up. Third time, it refreshes and says I don't have a time. Go back in there, and it says you can no longer order. Bruh, I ain't ate since 1 o'clock that day because I wanted a burger and fries. They got a great bacon cheeseburger and fries, and I was just thinking about that all day, like, oh, a burger, fries, Guinness, Quiet Place 2. This is great. Can't order. So I'm literally just sitting and looking at the phone, like, trying my best to like refresh it, and no food. So literally the first 40 minutes of the movie, I was like just looking at the scenes, just thinking about food. Like, the scene is really good, but what would be better is some food. Couldn't even order popcorn. I was even like, all right, popcorn at least. Couldn't do that. Quarter dude, he was like, no, kitchen's closed, can't get anything. I'm like, bro, why didn't nobody tell us any of this? Nobody told us the kitchen closed at a certain time. Nobody told us that you have to order on the app to get food. So I'm just like, why nobody told us anything? There weren't even any employees walking around. Like, what am I supposed to do? So, first 40 minutes, I'm like, literally, I'm pissed. And then finally, I kind of like, you know, screw it, like, I'm gonna get some food afterwards. And now I'm into the mood watching it, right? And not to mention the seats we had were like pretty bad. Like they were mad close, but we didn't mind it being close because usually these seats you can like press them and they'll recline you back so you can see better. So I'm watching the movie like I can't really, I can see it, but it's not really a good view. And here my wife, she presses her, you know, recliner, and she, you know, reclines back, and I'm just like, yes. That's when I realized about the reclining seats, you know what I mean? So I'm like, yes, I can recline it. Press the button, the recliner doesn't even work. At this point, it's just a comedy. I'm just like, and that's about an hour into the film, and I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. So, say all that to say, the theater experience was not good, and it almost ruined this whole experience for me, honestly. I was pretty upset. Not upset, but I was just like, I couldn't even enjoy it how I wanted to enjoy it carefree. And I don't know, man, like a lot of people, you know, don't like watching movies from home, but I'm not gonna lie, stuff like this, and then on top of that, there were like some teens on the other side, like constantly texting, and like this girl, she had her phone, like when she gets a text, her phone would light up and blink. I don't know if she could turn, I'm pretty sure she can turn it off, but she had it on the entire time. So every time it's dark, it's like blink, 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 blink. Then you hear somebody cackling, and I'm just like, this right here is one of the reasons why I advocate watching movies from home, because the theatrical experience to me always has been a nervous experience going to the theater, because I never know what we're gonna get. I don't know if the people are gonna be trash, if the theater's gonna be trash like this with the seats that were terrible. I don't know. Because when I saw Army of the Dead the other week, it was just me and like a couple other people, and those seats were kind of trash too. I didn't say that in the theater, but the seats didn't recline. Like it literally looked like seats from the 70s or something. I don't know, but yeah, this theater experience was not that great, bro. Like, I'm not going front. And I can honestly say, if I had the option to watch that at home, I would have watched it at home, dead ass, because this wasn't it at all. This wasn't it. Theaters, y'all got to do better. Y'all have to do better than this if you want people to go to theaters to see movies. I don't know if anybody's seen this, if it's a chain or whoever, but theaters got to do better to make the experience much better for the people. And I understand it's COVID and you're trying to do your best to do it, but this was kind of unacceptable, man, like on multiple levels. But anyway, that's my review and my breakdown of what happened that night. What'd you think of Quiet Place? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Which I don't see how you could, because it was a great movie, and I plan to go see it sometime next week by myself. in the middle of the day. So, and I'm just gonna go in there expecting to like watch the movie, and that's it. I'm not buying nothing. I'm just gonna watch it and just focus on the screen because that experience was kind of. Anyway, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.